For the last 30 years, there's been this one program that's been a silent partner in pretty much everything you've ever done on a PC. It's the thing that launched your apps, organized your photos, found that one document you desperately needed. This is the story of the most important program you probably never ever think about. So let me ask you a question. If you had to name the single most important program on your computer, what would you say? I bet for a lot of you it's your web browser, right? Or maybe your email client, or Steam, or whatever. And yeah, those are all great answers, but they're not the one we're talking about today. Because the real answer, the actual answer, is a program you see every single day. It is the very fabric of your desktop, something so fundamental to how you use your computer that it's become, well, practically invisible. To really get why this thing is so crucial, we have to understand that File Explorer isn't just for browsing folders. Oh no, it's so much more than that. See, it's what's known as the Windows shell. When you log into Windows, that process that kicks off, explorer.exe, it's responsible for everything. It draws your desktop icons, it puts the taskbar at the bottom of the screen, it makes the Start menu pop up. It is the visual world of Windows. The part we think of as the file manager, that's just one piece of its absolutely massive job. So where did this all-powerful program even come from? Well, for that, we've got to hop in the time machine and go all the way back to the mid-90s and the game-changing release of Windows 95. This was a fundamental shift, a huge deal. Before 95, you had two totally separate apps, Program Manager to launch your stuff and File Manager to find your files. Windows 95 completely fused them together. The Start menu and the brand new Windows Explorer became the single integrated experience. This wasn't just a redesign, it was literally the birth of the modern Windows desktop as we know it today. And then, just a few years later, with Windows 98, the internet boom changed everything. Microsoft baked Internet Explorer right into the shell, and all of a sudden, our file manager started acting like a web browser. We got those back and forward arrows we can't live without. We got an address bar you could just type paths into directly. The line between your local computer and the World Wide Web, it started to get really blurry. All right, as we entered the new millennium, the role of the PC was changing. With Windows XP, Microsoft had this big vision to make your computer a digital hub for your whole life. Your photos, your music, all your documents. And File Explorer was the key to making that whole idea friendly and easy for absolutely everyone. XP's Explorer was all about being task-based. Instead of just a dry folder tree, you got this friendly task pane on the left, suggesting things you could actually do. Like if you were in a picture folder, it would offer to start a slideshow for you. It gave us that brilliant film strip view for photos, and of course, those animated search companions. And you absolutely cannot talk about XP without mentioning this little guy, Rover the search puppy. He was part of this big push to make finding files feel less like a chore and, a little more engaging. For a whole generation of us, this dog is just pure nostalgia. Okay, so by the time Windows Vista and 7 came around, we had a totally new problem. Digital chaos. We had thousands of photos and songs and documents scattered all over the place. The mission for Explorer wasn't just about finding stuff anymore, it was about organizing it. Now, I know, Vista gets a bad rap, but its version of Explorer introduced some incredible power tools we still use every day. That breadcrumb address bar that makes it so easy to jump between folders, that was Vista. The ability to group files into visual stacks by date or type, also Vista. And live previews that let you see what's in a file without even opening it? Yep, you guessed it. But Windows 7 took organization to a whole new level with a truly genius feature, libraries. The idea was so simple, but incredibly powerful. What if you could see all your pictures in one place, even if they were stored in 5 different folders, or maybe even on another computer on your network? The whole concept was just elegant. You just tell your pictures library which folders to keep an eye on, and boom, it created a single, unified view of everything. It was a fantastic solution for trying to manage files that were just scattered across your entire digital life. From there, the pace of change really started to pick up. The last decade has basically been a whirlwind of redesigns, as Explorer tried to adapt to modern workflows and, new design trends. First, Windows 8 came along and brought the controversial ribbon interface from Microsoft Office, packing a ton of commands right into the toolbar. This is also when it officially got its name changed from Windows Explorer to File Explorer. Then, Windows 10 streamlined the whole design for a much flatter, cleaner look. And finally, after years and years of people begging for it, gave us a native dark mode. And that brings us to today.
Windows 11 got rid of the ribbon, replacing it with a simpler command bar, and added probably the single most requested feature of all time, browser-style tabs. Finally!
So, after this incredible 30-year journey, where does that leave us? What exactly is the role of a file manager in the world we live in today? When you step back, the evolution has been truly remarkable. It started as a tool just to unify the desktop. Then it became this friendly hub for our digital lives. Then it evolved into a powerful organizer to tame all that data chaos. And now it's all about modernizing its interface for how we work now. Each era solved a different core problem for us, the user.
Which, of course, leads to the final, big question. In a world where our files are increasingly just streams from the cloud, or links in a document, or even just conversations with an AI, what is the future of a program that's called File Explorer? What does it even mean to explore files anymore, and what will it need to become next?